Welcome to our deep dive into heartbeat human connections. Tonight we are exploring
Oh, this can be good.
10 acts of kindness from all over the world,
Yeah.
really showcasing how
Mhm.
compassion is like a universal language,
Yeah.
We've got stories from all over, from
Right.
big cities to small towns, each one giving us a
Absolutely.
little peek into how powerful human connection can be.
What I think is so fascinating is how different all these acts of kindness are.
Right.
Like, we're going to see people just providing for like basic needs,
Yeah.
and then other stories about people trying to make everyone feel included, and
Mhm.
some that are just spreading joy. It's like a reminder that kindness can take
Yeah,
so many different forms.
for sure.
And it's something every single one of us can be a part of.
Exactly. Like,
Right.
take, for example, the story about the bakery owner in that small Irish town
Oh, yeah.
that got hit by a flood. Instead of
Right.
worrying about what he lost,
Mm-hmm.
he just starts giving away free bread to everyone in his neighborhood.
It's powerful, right? Like, he saw a need and met it with compassion. It really makes you think, like,
Yeah.
when something like that happens, when there's a crisis, do we just try to protect ourselves, or does something deeper take over, like a sense of community? Is it just survival, or is it
Yeah.
something more?
That's a really good question to think about. Then there's that story about those students in Mumbai
Oh, yeah.
who took a local park and turned it into an outdoor classroom.
Yeah, they were helping those underprivileged kids with their homework.
Right. It was called the Study Buddy program.
Yeah, providing access to education, breaking down barriers, that's investing in the community for the long haul.
Mhm.
They're not just offering a quick fix, you
Yeah.
know? They're trying to give those kids the tools to build a better future.
Absolutely. And it doesn't always have to be these big,
Yeah.
grand gestures either.
No,
Remember
right.
that story from the New York subway?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Where that one rider helps this older woman carry her heavy bags all the way back to her apartment.
Such a simple act of kindness, but can you imagine what that meant for her day?
Right.
It says a lot about empathy and just like noticing the people around us,
Mhm.
even strangers. And actually, I think sometimes those small gestures can have even more of an impact because they're so unexpected. They catch people off guard in this beautiful way.
So these little sparks of connection in a world that can feel so impersonal sometimes.
Yeah.
Speaking of warmth, how about that cafe owner in Tokyo?
Oh, the one who was giving out free hot chocolate.
Yeah, to anyone who needed to get in out of the cold.
Makes me think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Oh, yeah.
When those basic needs like warmth and safety are at risk, a simple act of kindness can feel huge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that cup of hot chocolate might have been more than just a drink.
Yeah,
It could have been a symbol of hope and that someone cares.
you're right. And then there's that story about the anonymous donor in Nairobi
Oh, wow, yeah.
who paid for school fees for like 20 orphan children.
Talk about changing lives. Seriously. All these stories really show how kindness goes beyond borders.
For sure. Education is so empowering.
Absolutely.
That one act of generosity could break the cycle of poverty for those kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the impact of that could just ripple out way beyond them.
Right. It shows that everyone deserves the chance to reach their full potential.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've seen kindness that provides for people, kindness that empowers them. Mm-hmm. Now, how about kindness that just brings joy?
I love it.
Number 5 on our list goes to this teenager in Los Angeles who started a
Oh, yeah.
pet blanket drive for homeless people's dogs.
I love it. She saw that connection between people and their pets.
I know, it's so sweet.
It's insightful. She wasn't just helping the animals.
Right.
She was recognizing how important those pets are to their owners,
Yeah,
for emotional support and everything.
I think there was a quote from her in there. It was something like, seeing their faces light up.
Oh, yeah. Makes all the effort worth it.
Yeah.
That really gets to the heart of it. Kindness is a two-way street. It is. For number 4, we're going down to Brazil,
Okay.
where this local artist totally transformed the pediatric wing of a hospital
Wow, I love this one.
with all these super vibrant and colorful murals.
No, instead of it being this sterile and scary place, he brought it to life with color,
Yeah.
especially in a place where kids are probably dealing with fear and uncertainty.
There was a good quote from him, too.
Oh, yeah, he said, art can be medicine too.
Yeah,
So profound. It just shows how art can lift your spirits and give you hope.
definitely. And coming in at number 3, we have a restaurant owner in Canada
Okay.
who went above and beyond for his customers.
What did he do?
So he learned sign language
Oh, wow.
to better serve his deaf customers.
That's awesome.
And then he surprised them with a menu that was totally accessible in sign language.
I love this. That is radical inclusivity.
Right.
He wasn't just accommodating. He was making a space where everyone feels welcome and valued.
Yeah.
He said something like, communication is about more than just words. It's about connection.
Which really says it all. Going the extra mile to create understanding like that.
Absolutely.
Okay. For number 2, we're headed to Sydney, Australia.
All right.
For a kindness flash mob at a busy train station right during rush hour.
Flowers and compliments when everyone's stressed and trying to get home.
I know, right?
What a great way to shake things up and spread a little joy.
I think someone said, it's the small things that can change someone's day.
Yeah, but it makes you wonder, can small gestures have a lasting impact?
That's an interesting question. Maybe it's about planting a seed of positivity that keeps growing even after that first act.
Maybe.
And finally, the number 1 act of kindness takes us to South Africa, where this retired teacher has dedicated herself to teaching street children.
Oh, wow.
Under a tree. She's giving them education and meals.
Reminds me of that Nelson Mandela quote, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world.
Oh, yeah.
She's living proof of that. Even in retirement, one person can make a world of difference. And she's not just teaching them facts. She's giving them hope and helping them see their potential.
That's powerful. These top 5 stories are incredible.
They are.
But we've only scratched the surface of what's in Heartbeat, human connections.
Yeah, there's more.
Before we get to the rest of them, let's take a closer look at something that keeps popping up in these stories.
Okay.
The #KindnessRipple challenge.
Now, this is where things get really interesting.
Right.
This challenge encourages people to do 3 acts of kindness. And then they nominate 3 friends to do the same.
Turning individual acts into a chain reaction of compassion.
That's beautiful.
It's like tossing a pebble into a pond and watching those ripples spread out, touching everything along the way. Speaking of ripples, we got this heartwarming story from a listener in Michigan. Their whole neighborhood got together.
Wow.
And threw a surprise birthday parade for this 90-year-old resident.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Complete with music and everyone honking their horns.
That's what community is all about, people coming together to share joy.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that even in our increasingly digital world, it's human connection that really makes life meaningful.
And on that heartwarming note, let's take a quick break.
All right.
We'll be right back to explore the rest of the acts of kindness from Heartbeat, human connections. And we'll dig a little deeper into this whole #KindnessRipple idea.
Sounds good. Welcome back. You know, as we keep going through these stories from Heartbeat, human connections, I'm really struck by how much community plays a role. It seems like whether they're big or small, a lot of these acts of kindness end up strengthening the bonds between people.
That's a really good point. It makes you think about that ripple effect we were talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not just about spreading kindness outward, but also about weaving this tighter social fabric within community.
Exactly. And it doesn't always have to be about these big organized efforts either.
Wow.
Even just simple everyday things can build that sense of community.
Like what?
Like holding the door open for someone.
Oh, yeah.
Or giving a genuine compliment. Or just listening when someone needs to talk. Those little interactions can be really powerful.
I think so. They're like these little reminders that we're not alone.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes those small things can turn someone's whole day around.
Okay, so let's get back to our countdown. At number 6, we have a story from this tiny town in Greece.
Okay.
So there's this mechanic, and he realized that a lot of the older people in town were having trouble getting to their doctor's appointments.
Oh, no.
So guess what he did?
What?
He started offering free rides to anyone who needed one.
How nice is that?
I know.
Wow.
It's a perfect example of seeing a need and just doing something about it.
It shows how much empathy he has, you know?
Yeah.
And that willingness to go out of his way to help others.
For number 7, we're going to Seoul, South Korea.
Okay.
Where this group of young musicians started playing free concerts at nursing homes.
Oh, wow.
Music is a universal language, right?
It has this amazing ability to bring up emotions and memories.
For sure. And they're bringing that to a generation that often gets forgotten.
Yeah, or isolated.
Their music could be starting conversations, bringing back good memories.
Yeah.
Creating these moments of shared happiness.
It's a good reminder that sometimes the most meaningful gifts are the ones that feed the soul.
That's beautiful.
Okay.
Okay, number 8 takes us to a small village in India.
Right.
This woman saw that a lot of girls were having to drop out of school.
Oh, no.
Because they couldn't afford sanitary products.
Oh, gosh.
So she started making and giving out reusable sanitary pads.
Good for her.
It's an amazing story about empowering these girls to stay in school
Yeah.
and get an education. It's about breaking down taboos, promoting equality,
Yeah.
and giving opportunities to those who might not have them otherwise.
Yeah.
It's so inspiring how she's tackling a practical need while also challenging societal norms.
That's awesome.
Okay, number 9 brings us to this bustling market in Mexico City. There's this street vendor who's known for her amazing tamales.
Tamales.
Yeah. And every Sunday, she started giving away free meals to homeless people.
Wow. Sharing food is such a fundamental way to connect with people.
It really is. It's not just about giving them something to eat.
Yeah.
It's about building community and showing compassion to those who are struggling.
Like that saying, a shared meal is a shared life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about seeing each other as human beings and knowing that everyone deserves respect and dignity. And finally, number 10 takes us back to the United States.
Okay.
To a small town in Montana.
All right.
This librarian started a program called Stories on Wheels.
I love that.
She delivers books to people who can't leave their homes.
Oh, wow.
Like seniors and people with disabilities.
It's about fighting that feeling of isolation and bringing the joy of reading to people who might not have it otherwise.
Right. Books can take you to different worlds.
They can.
They offer companionship, escape, and they keep your mind sharp. This librarian is giving them more than just books. She's giving them a connection to the outside world.
That's beautiful.
So we've seen 10 different acts of kindness.
We have.
From basic needs to inclusivity to spreading joy.
It's been amazing.
What connects all these stories?
I think it's realizing that we're all connected. You know, these acts of kindness, no matter how big or small or where they happen, they show the power of human connection. They prove that even the smallest things can make a difference and make the world a more compassionate place.
It's about knowing that we're all part of something bigger.
Yeah.
And that what we do matters. Okay, let's switch gears a bit.
Okay.
And talk more about this #KindnessRipple challenge.
Yeah.
We touched on it earlier, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on how much of an impact it can actually have.
I think it's a brilliant idea because it gets people to not only be kind to themselves, but also to spread the word and inspire others to do the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about turning compassion into this force that catches on.
It's about taking those individual acts and turning them into a movement.
Yeah.
Creating a ripple effect that goes way beyond our own little circles.
And it's not about waiting for these big opportunities or doing something huge. It's about making kindness part of our daily lives.
Right. In how we treat people, the choices we make, and how we face challenges.
It's about making compassion a habit.
Yeah. Just a way of being.
You said earlier that small gestures can actually have a bigger impact because they're unexpected.
Yeah.
Can you say more about that?
Think about it. When someone does something kind of out of the blue, it kind of shakes things up. It breaks through all the negativity and cynicism we see every day.
Yeah.
And reminds us that there are still good people out there.
It's like a little spark of hope.
Exactly. And that spark can start a chain reaction. You know, it can make us want to pay it forward or be more aware of what other people need.
Yeah.
Or just approach the world with more kindness and compassion.
So those small things can be really powerful.
They are.
They can change how we see things, inspire us to act.
Yeah.
And create a ripple effect that goes way beyond that first act of kindness.
That's exactly it. And that's what makes the #KindnessRipple challenge so cool. It's about realizing that even the smallest acts can have a big impact.
Yeah.
And it encourages us to look for those opportunities in our everyday lives.
All right, so that brings us to the end of our exploration of heartbeat human connections.
But our conversation doesn't have to stop here.
That's true. We'd love to hear from you, our listeners.
Yeah.
Have you seen or experienced any acts of kindness that have touched your heart?
Have you tried the #KindnessRipple challenge?
Tell us your stories on social media using the hashtag #AI4ThePeople.
Let's keep talking about this and inspire each other to make the world a kinder and more connected place.
Because we can all make a difference together, one act of kindness at a time.
That's right. So as we wrap up our deep dive into heartbeat, human connections, we'll leave you with this. What act of kindness will you choose today?
How will you add to the ripple of compassion that's changing the world one heart at a time?
Thanks for joining us on this inspiring journey.
And don't forget to follow @AI4ThePeople for your daily dose of hope and inspiration.
See you next time.
Until then, stay curious, stay compassionate, and keep spreading kindness wherever you go.
As we wrap up our deep dive into heartbeat, human connections, I'm left with this feeling of hope, you know?
Me too. It's so easy to get bogged down in all the negativity in the world.
Yeah.
But these stories are such a good reminder that there's still so much good out there.
Absolutely. It's like we've gone on this journey all across the globe, seeing the power of human connection in so many different forms.
And what's amazing is that these acts of kindness aren't just isolated things.
Right.
They're happening all around us every day.
Yeah, it's about tuning into those moments, noticing when someone needs something and then choosing to act with compassion.
And realizing that even something small can make a ripple effect. And create a world that's more caring and positive. So what's the takeaway here? What do we want our listeners to remember?
I think the biggest thing is knowing that every single one of us can make a difference.
Yeah.
It's about being part of the solution instead of the problem.
It's about making kindness a way of life.
Yeah.
Not just a random act here and there.
Exactly. And it's about telling our own stories.
Yeah.
To inspire others and create this chain reaction of compassion.
That's where the #kindness ripple challenge comes in.
Right.
Remember, you do 3 acts of kindness, and then you get 3 friends to do the same.
It's such a simple but powerful way to spread that message of compassion.
Yeah. Yeah, and create a ripple effect that goes way beyond our own little circles. So we encourage you, our listeners,
Please
to join in. Share your stories about kindness with us on social media using the hashtag AI for the people.
Let's create this whole online community of compassion.
Yeah.
Where we can highlight all the incredible acts of kindness that are happening everywhere.
Yeah.
Remember, kindness doesn't have any limits. It goes beyond borders and cultures and backgrounds. It's like a universal language that speaks to what makes us human.
And it's something we can all practice every day in how we treat each other and the choices we make. So as we close out this deep dive into heartbeat, human connections, we'll leave you with this.
Okay.
What act of kindness will you choose today?
How will you contribute to that ripple of compassion that's changing the world one heart at a time?
Thank you so much for joining us on this amazing journey.
It's been great.
And don't forget to follow @AI for the People for your daily dose of hope and inspiration.
Until next time.
Until then, stay curious, stay compassionate, and keep spreading that kindness wherever you go.